I'm proud of many things, which sounds amazingly immodest. No, but I mean, I'm proud of moonlighting. I'm proud of clean and sober. Um, I like flinging off. I like them all. I mean, they're all your children. You know, you lavish an amazing amount of time and energy on them. I made a movie. It's really obscure, called Wilder Napalm, and while it with Deborah Winger and Dennis Quaid and Arliss Howard, and while I was making it, I thought, this is Birth of a Nation. I mean, this is just the greatest movie ever put on film. And and you take it out and you show it to an audience, and the audience looks at it, and half the audience goes, well, this is amazing. This is the most amazing movie I've ever seen. The other half goes, this is the biggest piece of dog crap. And you just feel awful. You feel like, wow, I guess you know, but I still have enormous affection for it. And some people who see it and encounter it in a different way love it. You know, I don't know. And then you make movies for different reasons. I did this movie with Jennifer Aniston called Picture Perfect. And I did it large. Part of the reason I did it was I had done Love Affair with Warren and Annette, and that was a movie I didn't get to, it was Warren edited it. I didn't edit it. I didn't agree with the way it was edited, and it didn't do well, and it made it hard to get another movie. And I thought I need to show that I can make a movie and make one inexpensively. But I also did it because my daughter was, I think she was 12 years old at the time, and she was just, the idea that I'd be doing something with Jennifer Aniston at that moment in time. And Jennifer was, she had been on Friends a year. She hadn't really done a movie. Certainly hadn't done a movie that was built around her. And to be able to give her that experience and bring that to her. So you do things for different reasons at different moments, you know. And you love them all for different reasons, you know, because you bring different emotions to them. I mean, when we were doing Clean and Sober, I kept saying to Michael Keaton, I said, now, Mike, you know, this may open on an airplane. I mean, I can't believe they're letting us make this, because it was so dark, you know, and so personal. It was a Warner Brothers. It was a studio movie. And he turned me down a gazillion times. I mean, I pleaded with him to do it. It was a big, 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 big thing. And off of that, he got Batman, curiously. He had done Beetlejuice with Tim just before he did Clean and Sober, but Tim saw Clean and Sober and was sort of startled by Michael's dramatic intensity. And I knew Michael could do it. From the moment I was writing it, I knew Michael could do it. I just knew it. And I'd never met him. I just knew it. And then really sort of went on this campaign to convince him. It was quite a different script. It was written by a very good writer named Todd Carroll, but it was very different. And I sat down and rewrote it. And you know, people have different attitudes about this rewriting thing. And I think you have the attitude, it's sort of like being brought up as a child. Whatever you first encounter, I think, is the attitude you sort of go through your career with. And the first show I wrote on was Taxi. And Taxi was a Jim Brooks show. And I admired Jim Brooks enormously. And Jim Brooks would rewrite people on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, on this and that, and he never took credit. Because his attitude was, hey, I'm the producer or the executive producer. I hired you, the writer. I asked you to do this. If you didn't come through, that's my mistake. And now it's my responsibility to make it as good as I can, because there are all these actors and technicians and artisans at work. And that's always been my attitude, is I have an obligation to make this thing as good as I can. That doesn't include trying to take credit away from you on the screen. So I've never, not to take anything away from Todd, who wrote the original script, but also it's so much easier to edit, reimagine, to look with some distance at someone else's work and say, okay, I know how to fix this, than it is to create from scratch. And unfortunately, we don't have a credit mechanism that speaks to that. You know, in the old days, they had screenplay by so-and-so, dialogue by so-and-so, additional, you know, we don't do that anymore. So I don't do that. You can pretty much rest assured that almost anything I'm involved with, I put through my typewriter. But if my name isn't on it as the writer, it means it didn't completely begin with me. I may have given them the initial idea or an impression or whatever, but someone went into a room with a blank piece of paper and came out with some document that at least began the process.